Hey guys, in this lesson we're going to solve linear equations in one variable, but we're going to throw in multiplication. Okay, so we're going to use what we already know, but we're going to add multiplication. So sometimes when you solve these equations, they'll require you to use both addition and multiplication properties of equality, okay, to solve them. So what multiplication property of equality says is if you multiply or divide both sides of the equation by the same number, right, that you don't change its value. So it's like the same thing as the addition and subtraction. Okay, so we're going to look at this example that they gave us. They gave us 5x minus 15 equals 20. They posed the question of, should you start by subtracting or adding, or should you start by dividing, right? And so you should start by adding, but how I always think about it and how I always tell my students to think about it is you always think that you move the man who stands alone. And you can see that he's separated from the x by a plus or minus sign, right? This time it's a minus sign. So the 15 stands alone. So he's going to be what you move first. So move the man who stands alone. And we're going to do that by adding 15 to both sides, okay? So I'm going to go over here when I do that. So that's going to leave us 5x equals 35. Now, once you move the man who stands alone, now you have your 5 times x left, right? When it's 5 times x, this is multiplication. What's opposite of multiplication? Well, if you said division, you are right on. So let's get a different color. So now we're going to divide both sides by 5, right? Because that's the multiplication equality property is if you do the same thing to both sides. So this cancels. So we're going to get x. Well, 5 goes into 35 7 times, right? And then we could check it, right? 5 times 7 minus 15 equals 20. Well, 5 times 7, 35 minus 15 equals 20. This is going to be 20 equals 20. So that's good. So we can write it in our solution set and roll on. Okay? So that's all of the thinking that went in. They skip a lot of steps, but that's how you do it. But always think, I have to move the man who stands alone, right? That means separated by addition or subtraction. Alright, so let's look at their steps here. Solving linear equations. You're going to simplify each side of the equation completely. So apply the distributive property to clear out any parentheses. Clear fractions by multiplying both sides of the equation by the least common multiple of the denominators. Combine like terms on the same side of the equation. Collect all variable terms on one side of the equation. Use the addition property of equality to collect all the variables on one side of the equation. Collect all the constant terms on the other side, right? We want all the variables on one, all the constants on the other. So again, you're going to use the addition property to do that. I'm not going to read all that. Y'all got that. Divide both sides of the equation by the coefficient of the variable term, right? And that's where we're going to use our multiplication property. And then check your solution. This is so important. Always do that, okay? Get in the habit of it because it's important later on. Alright, so here we can solve. So we have 6x, hang on, let me fix this, 6x minus 11 equals negative 29. So what do we move first? The man who stands alone, right? So we're going to add 11 to both sides. So that's going to leave us 6x equals negative 18. I'm going to go up here. Ooh, that's a negative 18, sorry. Now, we want x by himself. This is multiplication. So we're going to divide by 6, but what you do on one side, you have to do on the other, right? These cancel, leaving us with x equals a negative 3. Now, real quick, we could check that. 6 times a negative 3 minus 11 equals negative 29. That's going to give us negative 18 minus 11 equals negative 29. Negative 29 equals negative 29. Yep. So, negative 3. Cool? Okay. Well, you guys have fun doing these. Just remember, move the man who stands alone first, okay? Alright. Have the best day.